Greetings, YouTubian buddies. This is Ultimate 23 Dragon, and I need to explain this. Nearly 3 years ago, in September of 2018, I put out a video posting my concerns for the physical and mental well-being for Eric McClure, a former NASCAR driver. That video became one of my most watched videos in the last few years. None of my videos since have come close to a quarter of its views, and the most previous video of mine that has more views was uploaded over a year prior. I put out a video in January 2021 talking about my planned videos for 2021, and one of them, on the top of the list, was an updated version of the 2018 video titled, "Is Eric McClure okay?" Since that video's debut in September 2018, there were a lot, and I mean a lot, of things that had happened to Eric in the 2.5 years since that video. What you did not know is that my original target date for that video to premiere was May 5th, 2021. No joke, I had literally uploaded the original version of the updated version of the video on April 30th, intending to premiere it on May 5th. Obviously, it did not premiere. So now, this is the updated version of the updated version of the original video, if that makes any sense. What I've decided to do is show the original updated video in its entirety, all 1 hour and 5 seconds of it, as it was intended. The next time you hear my voice, that's when you'll know the original video had ended. And from there will be the update of this video that, unfortunately, I had to do. So now, here is the original version of the updated 2021 version of Is Eric McClure okay?
Let's listen in just a moment ago. Earlier we had Brian Patty talking to Juan Pablo Montoya. Montoya backs it down. We got a car way up on the wall, and that is the 0 car. Oh, heavy impact for Eric McClure.
Good to see that winning net coming
that
down.
That like it, you know what?
Yeah, when we turned around to look over there, he was up on top of the wall.
Well, a heavy impact up in that safer barrier area between turns 3 and 4. Eric McClure's car got all the way up on its side. And fortunately, the window net down. That is the sign that the drivers are told in the drivers' meeting. If you are awake and okay, drop that window net down to let the safety crews know.
It's always a good sign when you see that window net come down after a hard wreck like this.
Oh, look at this. Backwards already up on the wall.
Wow. I bet he's glad that's a safer barrier instead of concrete. Almost tipped over there.
Yeah, this is going into these corners again. You're running over 150 miles an hour, so the impact and for some reason with this banking, as we've changed that over the years here, we've seen as cars hit these walls a lot of times that they will get up in the air. Nothing quite that severe, but I don't know exactly what it is about the way the wall is and the banking that can create a situation like that. But it's nice to see he's okay.
Now, yesterday in practice, Eric McClure also had a problem in the primary car that he had hoped to run here for the weekend. The Johnny Davis machine in the practice session found the wall, and the car just snaps around and comes into contact with the wall in between turns 1 and 2, and it was so heavily damaged they had to roll the backup car out. The car that you just saw a moment ago had the impact in the other end of the racetrack.
Yeah, it's a tough weekend for these guys all the way around. You never like to lose a car, but you hate losing 2 of them.
Oh, he's got him in his sights.
Man, that car is fast.
It is fast. Oh, trouble.
Heavy contact. Clausen involved. McClure is there in the 24 car. Brian Clausen.
24 right in front of us.
Ooh, that's a big wreck right there for Brian Clausen. A lot of damage. 24 car, Eric McClure.
Heavy contact for both these drivers. 6 laps to go, and now yellow for the 7th time.
That was, I couldn't control that.
We're going to have a lot of debris to clean up right here, too. It's a pretty big wreck. A lot of cars involved.
Dale Jr. just came by, and he's got damage from that also.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., the 5 car, also damaged, and you see right side at his fender. Front of that car buckled up. Hood is buckled up on the right side. Show you what happened here just a moment ago involving the 41 and 24 out of the corner.
See, it looked like Dale Jr. got underneath Eric McClure in that 24 car. Whoa,
wow.
Big crash. Jr. just looking for some room around these guys. Man, look at the debris flying off these cars.
Wow.
Picks that 24 completely up off the ground.
Right along with Dale Jr. We'll see what he saw as he tried to make a move underneath the 24.
Okay, hold her down here, bud. Hold her down.
The 24 car of Eric McClure sideways and right up in front of the 41, and the youngster Brian Clausen, having nowhere to go, just tags him hard. McClure's car airborne, and the back of the car into the wall. This is not the first time that the young Abington, Virginia driver Eric McClure has had a highlight here in the late laps.
I am Eric McClure. The most exciting moment we had, obviously, was the accident at New Hampshire.
Oh, look at this. We got a car way up on the wall.
The first time in my life I was on SportsCenter, and I was really happy about it.
This is SportsCenter.
Okay, bad driving by you. Your license is revoked.
After that, we kind of had a cult following of notoriety for the Hefty brand and for Eric McClure.
And that hurt like a you-know-what.
You're never excited about wrecking, but that was one positive that came out of it.
Look at him surfing on the side of the wall backwards.
The next time I see myself on SportsCenter, I hope I'm winning a race. I am Eric McClure.
He gets spot in the field. He'll be fine.
Got a big crash out of turn 4, guys. Another caution involving several cars. Eric McClure's in this one. Also, it looked like maybe the 23 of Richardson might have got a slight piece of it.
And Eric was sick this morning. He thought he was going to have Mark Green drive the car. This team with Renzi brothers as owners, Hefty's coming back. They're coming back next year. We're really excited. They didn't need this, that's for sure.
Yeah, we've got some debris all over the track, literally from the high side down to where you see Eric's car. And there they're stopping the cars to make sure. And it was hard contact with that turn 4 wall, and we are under a red flag situation. Here's what happened.
Kenny might have had a flat up top.
That could have been. Oh,
Man.
Oh, he actually blows Kenny's left rear out.
Yep.
Somebody got into McClure. Can't tell who it was. Boy, he went hard into the wall.
Safer barrier right there.
I still didn't see the number there, guys. I got to be honest on who got into him.
Black car right there, either 92 or 29.
You know, taking a look at the 28 a little while ago, I think if you can get the tires back in that car, it's okay. It doesn't look like it really hurt anything. It hit the left rear tire, blew it out, spun him around. Then they all start crashing behind him.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm concerned about Eric McClure because that was straight into the wall. And think good thoughts, folks, because the safety crew is down there working to extricate him from the car. And there they are, gently taking him out. And Eric obviously is conscious.
Yes, well, when you hit the wall head on, you got your left foot on the brake pretty hard, and then sometimes it breaks an ankle.
Well, we won't speculate on what the injuries are, but it's obvious he needs support. So we'll wait for the official word from medical officials. And they just announced to the crowd that Eric was out, and that's the cheer that you heard. Under a red flag situation here at Memphis Motorsports Park, we can tell you that the ambulance has just taken Eric McClure to the infield medical care unit. A rough day for him. He started the day sick, and he ends the day in the ambulance. Take another look. We've determined it is the 96 of Michael McDowell that gets into him right side of your screen.
Well, something happened there with Kenny. He slowed up. I think the 24 lifted a little bit, got hit from behind, hit that safer barrier head on. Luckily, it was that safer barrier. That's one of the greatest inventions ever in this sport.
Okay, the safer barrier. Let's watch this one more time. Here he gets touched from behind, blows a left rear out of Kenny, slides across and left front hard in the safer barrier. He spins him around. And boy, that was a hard lick, but thank gosh that soft wall, safer barrier, or whatever you want to call it, was right there, because that really, you know, when they put this thing out, Marty, it took about 40% of the blow out of your body compared to hitting a regular concrete wall. Kudos to NASCAR for doing this. This has been a really cool safety feature, that's for sure.
And we do have an update on Eric McClure. Rick, what's the word?
And it is good news about Eric McClure. Just talked with the NASCAR officials that Eric is fine. He's going to have to follow up, talking with his family physician. Hopefully everything's okay there. But the important thing is, especially when we saw how hard that hit was, that according to a NASCAR official, Eric is fine. Back to you.
All right. Well, that is great news, and we will send our best along to he and the family, because that was a tough lick.
As it goes straight into the outside wall, that's a wreck that you know, Dean Sickens from Nebraska, isn't it, that did all of the work?
Absolutely, yeah.
And Andy Hillenberg is looking for a wall for Rockingham. They need to come up with a short track wall. Every concrete wall that any race car driver can hit, it needs to be turned into a safer barrier.
The wall is pretty pricey, and all these racetracks have been trying to afford to do that. A lot of them just went for it and put it in because it's such a safe device, Randy, like you said, and just about everybody's got it. Now I believe they're going to start putting it on the inside walls and almost all the racetracks too, because they really do need that.
Well, the short tracks too. That's where we need to go. The 33s, they're looking at this things like, man, how do we get this thing back on the ground? You know, because you can't say a short tracker's life is any different than a cup guy's life.
Let's check in on Eric McClure. There he is. Let's talk to him, Rick.
And good news, Eric McClure released from the medical center. Let's talk about how are you feeling right now? What kind of damage?
I'm a little bit sore. I'm okay. The safety equipment that NASCAR's got going on, and the Team Rinsey team was good. It really did its job. A little bit sore, but I think I'll be okay.
You were saying you didn't think you could hit the wall that hard, get fast enough to hit it that hard here.
No, I really didn't. It looks like you're going so slow out there. You know, we struggled today. We had just put on our set of tires for the race, and we were up there running with some good guys, having a lot of fun. And there was a couple of guys bounced off of each other, and we just had to get out of the gas just a little bit and got hit from behind. But I definitely hit the wall hard. But, you know, there are worse things in life. But want to say hey to Miranda back home. It's her birthday. Sorry I can't be there. And we'll go home, take the kids to Disney this week, and we'll come back to Texas.
All right. Once again, Eric McClure looking at that hard hit. Not doing bad.
Under the first caution in the Bucyrus 200 at Road America, under this caution flag, we've had one driver change. The 24 car back on track now with Chris Cook aboard the machine. Eric McClure, the car's regular driver, had some surgery earlier in the week and has gotten out of the car under this first caution. And Cook, a veteran road racer and driving instructor, has gotten aboard.
Yeah, I'd say that'd be a good pick to put in the car. He's a talented road racer, so this should be a good move for them to get out here and get a good finish.
60 laps to go now in the race. This battle for 10th has been won by Brad Coleman. Puts Ryan Truex back. They battle around the lap car of Eric McClure. Coleman has recovered. Remember, he thought he had an electrical problem earlier, switched his ignition boxes back and forth, and is now up to full song, and doesn't appear to have reported on that problem ever since.
That is going to be fun to watch, our Dollar General camera. And with our in-race reporter, Max Pappas, we'll have the foot shot as well, our Ream onboard camera. And let's talk with our in-race reporter now, Rusty.
Max Pappas, Rusty Wallace, ESPN, you got us?
It's a huge sports weekend in Phoenix. The Suns and Coyotes played last night. Arizona State home later tonight. The Cardinals tomorrow. And it's race weekend. The chase continues Sunday. Today, it's the NASCAR Nationwide Series going green at Phoenix International Raceway.
Our over-the-wall reporter is the front tire changer on the number 14 of Eric McClure. And that is Joel Martino. Joel, thank you for doing that for us, and you be safe down there today. Let's take a look at our Goodyear track facts, because obviously that banking has changed the cautions. We've actually had fewer cautions since we went to the new track.
Well, you got two different banking angles right here. 26 degrees on the bottom, 30 on the top, and Andy just got a lot more room out there because of that.
running that high line, trying to keep that car wound up, use a little momentum, and he pulls right up to the back bumper of Carl Edwards.
Closer, closer, closer. You know, when they first opened it.
Oh,
look out!
Oh, man!
Tim Shettle in the 52 has a problem right in front of the leaders, and Kyle Busch is heavily damaged.
Wow, and I think Carl Edwards got into him as well.
This is a big race for Hornish personally and this team in his bid to show that he is capable of making his way through the Nationwide Series and back to the Cup Series. So a tough blow for the 12 team.
The right front tire was down to the cords, but they have worked and worked and worked on it. Still tight in the middle, a little loose off, but Allgaier third in the points, trying to get a top 5 finish here tonight.
She's not leading right now, but here they come again because Sorensen had to make the switch here at the Subway Jalapeno 250 at Daytona. And look out, the 14 of Eric McClure has tagged the wall and is skating across the infield. That is down in the turn 1 area. And
big
our
break for Boyer.
Third caution comes out, and Clint Boyer will finally get the lucky dog. So the 33 will get back on the lead lap. The 14 of McClure was 23rd at the time of this deal. That's Mike Bliss pushing him.
Oh man. That was a hard lick right there.
Yeah, misjudged just a little bit. It only takes that little bit to create a bad accident.
A lot of damage, and the window net is not down on Eric's car. So let's just stay here and hope that he is A-OK. Now I see him reaching for it now. That's good news. That's good.
That's a hard angle.
He's fine, Mike. I couldn't hear what you're saying, but he's fine.
Yeah, nothing deliberate there by any stretch of the imagination.
No, at 190 miles an hour, trying to make that calculation and know exactly where your front end is, it can be difficult, but it only takes those few inches to create a situation just like that.
Several cars stayed out, including the 60, the 1, the 66, and the 62. And there's Eric McClure. He's in good shape heading to the ambulance, and that's a good sign. Now let's go back and want to update you on Eric McClure's situation. This was an extremely hard lick as the 19 just touches him in the wrong spot, sends him into the wall. We saw him walk to the ambulance, but doctors at the Infield Care Center have decided to send him over to Halifax Medical Center as a precautionary move for a little further evaluation. And there you see him as he did make his way to the ambulance. We'll get an update if we can before we sign off tonight. We can also tell you Chase Miller has gotten into the 14. Eric McClure pulled out of the car. He was feeling ill, and look out, 3 wide, and man, there's not enough room for that.
Yeah, that's our points leader right there in the middle of that too.
Last time Kyle Busch finished outside the top 10 in 4 straight races, he won the next 3. We'll see what happens going to Southern California next week. Some of the other drivers who finished laps behind and struggled their way through the day. So Stenhouse finds himself in 6th position for the restart. Driver change during the caution as well, Mike.
Yeah, Eric McClure, Alan, suffering from flu-like symptoms. You know how bad that is with a normal job. Imagine being behind the wheel at close to 200 miles per hour in very hot temperatures. Well, he got out of the race car, and he'll be replaced by Jeff Green for the remainder of the race. I spoke with Eric briefly. Just said he's sick to his stomach right now, Alan.
All right, thanks, Mike. Jeff Green actually ran a couple practice laps in that 14 car earlier this morning in the practice session they had here. So this is not completely unfamiliar territory for Jeff and the race team.
Well, he's getting a nice push from him.
Oh, trouble. Harvick's around.
Oh, got spun on the backstretch by the 43.
How many is it going to collect?
Hold the brake.
Oh, what a vicious crash. Eric McClure.
Get it around here.
I think we're okay, maybe. Just need tires.
Accident that began at the front of the pack, jockeying for position to race for the win, ends with some heavily damaged cars scattered across turn 3. Taylor Malsom.
It was a vicious hit by Eric McClure there.
Yes, it was. Robert Richardson, 23. Kevin Harvick's car sitting back there as well.
Yeah, Harvick was out of his car. On that out. That's what's so frustrating about this racing is you get yourself all day long, you've positioned yourself, kept yourself out of trouble, and it just gets so ramped up. Just one bump too hard by someone.
You got so many lines that with different momentum, and the holes close up so quickly. Nobody willing to give any when it's this close to the end.
Go ahead.
7 car rejoins the race. You saw Brad Keselowski's car sitting on the pit lane getting attention. Robert Richardson. Tell you just how hard that was for him.
See the damage on that right front. He's okay. He
didn't jump out though.
Takes a little while to get your wits about you, and when you hit something like that, yeah, you see they jammed it all back, and get your feet in there, your legs, your knees.
A red flag the race. Right there on the first part of the tri-oval on the front straightaway is where all the leaders are parked.
As the work continues at the accident scene over in turn number 3. So the red flag is out in the middle of the first attempt at a green-white checker finish, a multi-car accident. Over in turn number 3 at the end of the backstretch, Austin Dillon's car with damage. But the bulk of the concern remains focused around the Eric McClure car. After the hard crash he took to that inside wall. The safety workers there, well trained, and doing their job. And of course, any update that we get, we'll pass along to you as soon as possible.
NASCAR and these safety teams have done such a tremendous job over the years of gaining ideas of how to handle these situations better.
They've got great equipment too.
Yeah.
They can cut that roof off the car, so if he is injured, they can get him out without causing any more injury.
So the drivers are stopped here that are continuing in the race. And know they have another green-white checker attempt to go. To decide who's going to win. What goes through your mind?
As you're sitting there, just want to get it over now. But as they get back, they're going to go just as hard at it as what they were right then. You know, you feel fortunate that you've been able to make it and get through to this point. But now it's really about, okay, I've got to this point, let's make the most of it. See, NASCAR does a good job too now. It's extremely hot in these race cars. You've been out there in this 85-degree temperature, so getting all of these drivers some water.
There are the 8 drivers involved in the accident. All of those drivers have either driven their cars away, as in the case of Patrick and Keselowski, or climbed from their machines if they were unable to continue, except the Eric McClure machine, which you see the work continuing around. So while they continue to work that scene over there in turn number 3, and we continue to show concern and watch the situation and pay attention. Andy, you've been a crew chief, you've been a team owner. This from NASCAR. They report to us that Eric McClure has been talking to the medical staff over at the accident scene. So that is
just
certainly
peeled the roof back too, so
a good bit of news.
Have a lot better access to Eric now.
That in itself, the fact that they would peel the roof back, is simply to give the safety workers more room to maneuver, and in any kind of a situation. I mean, he took a hard hit to that inside wall. There would be stabilizing of his spine and neck to try and take him out of that car straight up and make sure that there are no injuries or further injuries in that area. But again, NASCAR just informing us that McClure is talking, or has talked, to the medical workers over there in turn number 3.
It's just so much less risky by taking that roof, peeling it back, even though they probably don't know the extent of any injuries here, but it's so much less risky to pull any driver out of the car without having to come through that small window opening. These window openings are fairly small.
And we talk all the time about the safety of these new cars, of everything that's involved as far as the Hans device and the shoulder harnesses, seat belts, everything that the drivers now have inside of these cars. But you still have to realize you're traveling well over 170 miles an hour at this racetrack.
Doc, you're well familiar with the medical procedures and all of the safety work that goes on in this situation.
Unfortunately, I am, Alan, and you explained it very well. I mean, they typically want to be very, very deliberate and take their time. You want to get the roof of the car off so you can get to the driver and stabilize the neck and spine. Great to hear the news that you had reported a moment ago that Eric McClure had spoken with the NASCAR and the safety people at the scene. I spoke to Wes Ward, the crew chief for Eric McClure, a moment ago as he was walking or headed that way, and Wes said none of the crew had heard anything on the radio, and they surmised the radio wires probably snapped and were torn with that violent impact, so they were very concerned and glad to hear that Eric is communicating. Now, again, very, very deliberate. These NASCAR safety people you see working on the car here train almost once a week. In fact, one of the training sites is right here at Talladega off the back straightaway. They get cars and they cut the roofs off. They practice taking drivers out on a backboard, strapping them down, providing every delicate touch they can to get them out of the car to do no harm prior to getting them evaluated. That's exactly what they're doing right now with Eric McClure.
All right, Doc, thanks. And we continue to monitor the scene over inside turn number 3 as this race sits under the red flag. Just joining us, a multi-car accident on the back straightaway as the race had just restarted for a green-white checker 2-lap sprint to the finish. Contact in the pack sent cars careening out of control in a hard crash there involving Eric McClure, and that is where the attention is focused. All other drivers have climbed from their cars. Kevin Harvick just been released from the medical center. And in these situations, Doc talked about the training that the personnel receives. NASCAR sends an advanced team into town, and all the care is coordinated through the racetrack with all of the local hospitals and the best trauma units and so on, are all coordinated up to provide the best possible care for these drivers in the event of a situation like this. You saw that yellow backboard with the areas on it for stabilizing the head and so on. And the safety workers continue attending to Eric McClure. There you see the work continuing over inside of turn number 3. And Eric McClure being assisted from that race car. Eric has had his share of tough breaks. It was a year ago last week that his home and many in his hometown in southwestern Virginia were damaged by a series of tornadoes that came through. Of course, his family with a long history in racing, the Morgan McClure Racing Team, with much success here at Talladega, Daytona 500 wins, so on. And again, we'll continue to provide you any update we're able to on McClure's condition as soon as we possibly can. All right, so with respect to the fact that we only have very preliminary word about the condition of Eric McClure, we want to go back and take one look at what happened that set off this multi-car accident headed to turn 3 on the back straightaway.
See, it looked like a net had made a move to try to go up the middle.
Yeah, it looked like he was getting a push, and he was going to try to make this happen.
That hole closed up.
As you can see, as Kyle Busch went over, Brad Keselowski tried to go over.
That was Joey Logano that was behind a net.
Yeah, it's like I said, everybody's trying to go to the front, and those holes close up so quickly. You can see the safer barrier deflect tremendously when Eric McClure hit it. Thank God it was there.
Yes.
You can see just past this, there is no safer barrier.
All that is just a product of the racing, the closeness, and getting time to try to win or make as many positions as you possibly can.
McClure is going to be transported to the University of Alabama Birmingham Medical Center for further treatment. And again, any update that we have, we will pass along as soon as possible. So we continue to monitor the situation. Any information we have, we provide it as soon as possible. And we still have to finish the race here at Talladega. We're coming back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. The NASCAR Nationwide Series race at Talladega Superspeedway is under the red flag after a multi-car accident headed toward turn number 3, damaging several cars and damaging the safer barrier as well, after a heavy impact to that barrier involving a couple of drivers, including Eric McClure, who has been assisted from his car and is going to be transported to a hospital in Birmingham for further evaluation and treatment. We continue to monitor, and we'll provide you any information as soon as we possibly can. So we still have to finish the race, and while we remain concerned about Eric McClure. They're going to finish the race. And if you are a driver, Dale, you've been in this situation before. You're sitting down there strapped in one of those race cars. You might have seen the replay on the big screen, or you might have seen it in front of you out your windshield. And now you're going to go back racing again, bumper to bumper, door to door at 190 miles an hour.
You were in the medical center and some of Eric McClure's family was around. Any word get to you on his status?
Not really. We were in the ambulance and saw him obviously get cut out of the car, and he was talking. So, you know, I think he probably just hit his head a little bit, and you know, they're definitely worried about our safety and just taking all the precautions they need to.
All right, Michael, and we're waiting for some official reports on the Eric McClure situation, guys.
The last update we have from NASCAR is that Eric McClure is being transported to the UAB Birmingham Medical Center for further evaluation and treatment. That's the last update that we have. Our concerns with him, our congratulations to Joey Logano. World news or local news, except on the West Coast, coming up next. Thanks for watching ESPN on ABC.
Today's the first day the sun's been out. The wind's been a lot less, and I just got done with cup practice here a few minutes ago, and it was moving up. So I would guess probably 50, 60 laps into this thing.
As we get ready to go, Jamie Dick got the free pass. Driver change under this caution. Eric McClure has been feeling under the weather through the weekend. Jeff Green has gotten aboard the 14 car after retiring his car in the opening laps of the race.
mile trying to make the pass on Ambrose.
Yeah, he's got a problem. Don't get greedy here. Just reel in here.
How about this battle? Caution out. Just as we were watching this one between Dillon and Jones, there's a car over here. The 24 car. We hear the crews talking on the radios. Eric McClure. It's going to be less than 20 to go when we get back to green. One more restart.
Yeah, certainly Ryan Blaney didn't want to see that caution. He jumped out and had a nice lead. But this is going to get young Matt Tift an opportunity on a restart. See what he can do from the inside of Ryan Blaney. See if he can somehow wrestle the lead away. Looks like there was some racing side by side going on, and Eric McClure got sideways and couldn't correct it and into the outside wall.
Might have been the 90 car that he was battling there, Martin Roy. They still have not been able to get McClure's car out of the way yet. There they are talking to Eric. Five drivers won in their Xfinity Series debut, but all five had competed in Cup before that. Not so for the 20.
No, he might have competed in some kind of cup, but it wasn't the sprint cup that we were talking about.
You know, Ross Kenseth finished 6th at Chicago in the number 20, his best finish by a driver in their debut this season. Good to see Eric McClure out of the car. Looks a little dazed, though.
Yeah, sometimes we take that for granted when we see him just what we think's a slow slide and back into the wall is still at a high rate of speed, but good to see Eric out.
New this morning, former NASCAR Xfinity Series driver Eric McClure is hospitalized in Bristol, recovering from what he says are multiple health issues. He posted on Facebook yesterday saying he is being treated for a lung infection, an illness that kills muscles and full kidney failure. According to the Post, McClure is on dialysis for the foreseeable future and will have to relearn how to walk and use his arms. He says, quote, "I am not out of the woods yet, but slowly seeing improvement in one area. And I'll say I have learned to never again take little everyday things for granted."
Okay?
Yeah. Slow going, but I'm making it.
Don't go too far.
I won't.
You need like a walker or something.
Well, here's the latest update. I've been discharged from the Bristol Regional Medical Center. Now heading to Kingsport for a couple of weeks for rehab on my legs and arms. So God's been really good, and appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. Good morning and happy Labor Day. I hope everyone is enjoying a day off and got to sleep in this morning. Me, I'm comfortably situated in my wheelchair and ready to head down for therapy. I have everything I need: my phone, water bottle, my flavor for the water, fruit punch, and breath mints, because you can never have breath that's too fresh. And also my schedule. So everything's going well. It's been really hard so far, but definitely starting to get stronger, and hopefully can get out of this wheelchair this week or pretty soon and into the walker full time. So I just wanted to say, hey, appreciate everybody sending all the messages and the prayers. They really mean a lot. I hope you all have a good day, and we'll talk to you soon. Hey, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. I just wanted to take a moment to update you on my situation. I'm going home, and I'm a bit overwhelmed. 6 weeks ago, I was told that my situation was so serious I should get my affairs in order just to be safe. And then once I was stable, I was told that while my surgeries were a success, I may not regain the use completely of one of my legs, if not losing the limb entirely. I was told I would need up to 6 months of dialysis, if not more. And I was told I would need several weeks to months of physical therapy on my arms and legs at a minimum. And now 2 weeks later, I'm going home with no walker and no wheelchair. You know, I was blessed with amazing care. There was a great team of doctors and nurses and techs that made sure I had the best opportunity to heal. And they made sure I was as comfortable as possible. And I was grateful to have them. But most of all, I'm very thankful for each of you all in your prayers. Because there's no doubt that you reached God with them, and He healed me in a miraculous way. I never could have dreamed that things would play out like they have, and I'm just so thankful. You know, I appreciate you coming along with me through all of this and interacting with me on Facebook and social media, and just giving me an opportunity to laugh and to talk and not get scared or frustrated, you know, during this entire ordeal. And I will forever remember each of you in my prayers. I just wanted you to know that I'm going home, and I love every one of you.
So that was how the 1 hour and 5 second video was originally done. And like I said, I had intended to premiere it on May 5th, 2021, which for those who don't know was the 9-year anniversary of the infamous Talladega crash in 2012. So now we get to the update of the update. Because the reason it did not premiere that day was 3 days prior, on May 2nd, 2021.
Now, right before the race, NASCAR was hit with some devastating news coming out of the Tri-Cities. The NASCAR world not only lost a man dedicated to the sport, but this community is now without one of the best athletes to come out of the area. It was announced that former NASCAR driver Eric McClure passed away Sunday afternoon. The Chilhowie native was the nephew of former Cup team owner Larry McClure. He spent the majority of his career racing in the Xfinity Series, making 288 career starts over 14 seasons, with a career best finish of 8th at Daytona in 2013. McClure's career was cut short by health issues as he suffered at least 2 concussions during his time racing. Also in 2013, he was diagnosed with acute renal failure, and in 2019 was being treated for kidney failure in both kidneys. Now, no details were given about his death, but he actually posted on Twitter just as recently as yesterday. Now, the Washington County Sheriff's Office did say McClure's body was sent to Roanoke for an autopsy. Now, in a statement released by NASCAR, they said, quote, "We are saddened to learn the passing of former driver and team owner Eric McClure. NASCAR extends its deepest condolences to Eric's family and friends." Now, Bristol Motor Speedway General Manager Jerry Caldwell also released a statement in which in part said, "On behalf of the entire team here at his home track, we send our heartfelt condolences to his family, friends, teammates, and many fans." Once again, McClure was 42 years old.
Well, funeral services will be held this afternoon for former NASCAR driver and Southwest Virginia native Eric McClure. Now, the 42-year-old Chilhowie native died Sunday. As a NASCAR driver, he made nearly 300 starts in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. This spanned from 2003 to 2016. A viewing for him will be held at the Southwest Virginia Higher Education Center in Abingdon from 4 to 7, with a service following at 7 o'clock.
We do have some sad news in the NASCAR world today. Eric McClure has passed away at the age of 42. The Virginia native was born in 1978. He competed in 288 NASCAR Xfinity Series races and was a regular for 9 seasons from 2007 through 2015. He is survived by his 7 daughters, and we give our thoughts and prayers to his family.
everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope your week is going well so far. I haven't made a video in quite a while, and I just felt today might be a day to do that. It's hard to believe we're in the middle of spring. The weather has been amazing the last few days. The trees are starting to bloom. You see people out and about now, walking through town, on the creeper trail, out doing things, and it's quite refreshing. And I really believe that these last few days have given me a real opportunity to pause a little bit, reflect, and just really seek out some things. I still try to have fun. Just the other day, I won't mention the town, but I rolled up to a red light. There weren't many people out at the time, and the gentleman was stiff-armed with one arm on the wheel. The vehicle was kind of bouncing. The base was turned way up, and it was kind of like a, I would almost say, rap. And I thought, I'm going to try this. So I rolled all my windows down, turned on the Oak Ridge Boys gospel, and turned the volume as loud as it would go. And he kind of looked over at me for a minute, had this confused look on his face, and he just went, no. Then he waved and drove off. But, it's so crazy. How everybody has opinions and thoughts, and, a lot of times instead of doing our own research, we just go off what we hear. And, I've just seen a lot of that recently. A person didn't want me to take the exit of a building in the proper way, that they blocked my path. Someone in a blue Ram that loves mountains, it said, cut off our vehicle when Kira and the kids were in the car with me, slowed down, and had to take some evasive action to the right. And when we got back beside him, he was flipping me off. And he was a lot older than I was, so I don't get that. But, there is a mid-40-year-old man that apparently wants to fight, which is not going to happen. But I have no idea. I guess that's going to set in motion a chain of events that, whatever. I'm not even going down that road. But I feel like lately the God has provided me a great opportunity to ponder some things and think about a lot of things from my childhood through my career all the way up till now. And, I am reminded every day how blessed I am to have Kira, how she's allowed me to experience things that I never would have otherwise, as far as emotional affections and confidence and all of that. And I'm just so thankful for that. The Lord has provided reminders that He did not make any mistakes. Even recently, I'm always sent out to fulfill some obligations on a certain road. I live on the corner of Westwood and another road that is a very big reminder. And I'm just grateful every day that I've been able to share this and grow from these things. And someone recently asked me if I thought life was a joke, and I said my life is a joke now. Jesus, others, Kira and her kids, and then Eric. And I realize not everyone's going to like what I say. They're not going to like me, and that's fine. But I just wanted to share my gratitude to each of you for the support, and I ask that you keep us in prayer moving forward, and pay attention to my status. In the next day or so, there's going to be something on there. You might not want to miss it. Have a great day. Bye. Hey everybody, I hope you're having a great weekend. It's Saturday night, May the 1st, and I think I'm here with Miss Renley, but I don't know what's going on because I think she might be a ghost. It's like every time she gets on my shoulders, something happens and you have to call her from the deep, and it's like she's there, but she's not. Yeah, you ready? Watch this.
Dance competition here.
I can tell him you're doing that. You ready to show him what happens? All right, watch this. Everybody, this is crazy. What?
Where, you gotta say, where's Renley?
Where is Renley? Because I see her, I look in the mirror, and she's there. But when I turn around, she's not there. I don't feel anybody, but when I turn around, she's right there. Let's try. You're not up there, are you? No. Is that her? No, I hear her, but she's not there. Let's call her. Renley, this is Eric. I'm calling you from the deep. Oh. Okay. I see you. I'm going to turn around and see if you're really there. Ah, she's not there. But then I go over here and I look in this mirror and it's like she's right behind me. She's not there. Are you there? I see you, but I don't feel you. Let's try one more time. Renley, this is Eric. I'm calling you from the deep. Whoop! Hey, how'd you get up there? Crazy. Goodbye. We found her.
As I thought about Eric when I got the news, I was literally getting ready to walk into the pulpit Sunday morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. I was preaching in the church. When I got the text, my heart broke. And immediately the Lord laid on my heart just this passage of Scripture. And I didn't know what the family was going to do. I asked her here in Abingdon for years, and last year the Lord changed our ministry, and Brother Jerry and Miss Sue were kind enough to say they'd like to have me be a part, and it's my honor and privilege to be here for him and for them. May I say, just as a means of getting started, Eric's fight is finally finished. I like the way Brother McNeese put it, that Eric was not perfect as none of us are, and Eric had many battles, and David lamented that in the battle, how are the mighty fallen in the midst of the battle. If you know Eric, and some of his were very public, unfortunately, and it bothered him that that was the case. But I want to say there's no more battle, no more fights. The things he struggled with, the things that he could not get victory in, is finally over for him. I don't know about you, but I'm thankful for that. He fought mightily in many areas of his life. I thought about not only is his fight finished, but when I think about his might, may I say he was mighty in this fact that his family was first. Just the week before he passed away, that week before that Saturday night, Sunday morning, Eric texted me, and we were texting back and forth not long, but he mentioned again how much he appreciated me, and then talked about his parents and how much he loved them, and how much he loved Kira, and how things were going good, and the kids, and how he was getting to be a daddy to them, though he wanted his daughters in his life. And you could hear the love in his voice. A few things made Brother Eric light up. Talked about racing, he lit up. Talked about his family, he lit up. Talked about Kira, he lit up. Talked about his children, he lit up. Add Disney to that. He lit up. This ain't goodbye, this is see you later.
There were things about Eric that he didn't like about himself. Flaws. We're all flawed. His nose was one of those things. He could not say his. I never thought a thing in the world about it until one day he says, if I was really worried about what people thought, I'd get plastic surgery on my nose. I said, well, there's that. There were things about himself he didn't like. Just like there's things about ourselves that we don't like. Things he wanted to change, things he tried to change. But you know what? He really didn't worry about what people thought about him. He really worried too much about it. But it wasn't the superficial stuff that he was worried about. The Eric County talks to me many times about eternal things and how to make a difference in other people's lives that would last. I'm just trying to tell you, Eric was a complicated man. Eric was a caring man. The Bible says in Proverbs 17:17 that a friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. I already mentioned his generosity, but Eric truly was a caring man. He loved people just like he drove his race car. He loved them wide open. He wore his feelings on his sleeve. He didn't try to hide anything. But if you came into his circle, he loved you with everything that he had, in every way that he could. He and I were on the phone well after 11 p.m. on Saturday night. And these were words that he said to me that I feel that need to be said. He said, I love my mom and dad, and I never want to be disappointed. He said, I love Kira for 2 things. He said, I love my little girls, and I just want things to be right. He cared. Eric was a caring man. I got a feeling that I was the last person to talk to Eric. May not be. But at 11, sometime well after 11 o'clock on Saturday night, called me 5 times. One of those was a 14-minute conversation. I looked it up on my phone. One of them was a 4-second conversation. Connect. The last one was a 10-minute conversation. I shared a little bit of that with you. One of the last things that Eric said to me was everything's going to be all right. And he said, "Preacher, I know I'm saved. I know that I'm saved." I hope you know that today. I'm going to see Eric again. And he'll be in a body that's not racked with pain from wrecks and concussions and broken bones. So we'll be perfect over there. I did say that knowing Jesus will make you perfect. It makes you prepared. That I left off the part that there is a point at which it will make you perfect. Eric is perfect today.
position. Here comes Eric McClure to lead at Daytona.
That's 19 different leaders we've had today.
The family with such a long history of success here. Drivers like Ernie Irvin and Sterling Marlin winning at Daytona, driving the old Morgan McClure Motorsports cars. This latest generation behind the wheel, after taking some lumps in recent years in this nationwide series, gets his moment at the front of the pack.